The reason that they should do that is because I do so much work in that consultation. It's not a chit chat. It's not a conversation about, oh, why did you leave your husband? It is an instructive, informative, substantive discussion about what your support should be. I do a calculation of your guideline child support calculation. I ask you to bring your tax returns in. I can tell you by looking at a tax return what issues there are going to be. I can tell you whether or not your employment status is going to be an issue in the case, and what job you have, and whether or not the spouse is going to require you to get a better job or ask that you seek employment or find employment if you haven't worked. I determine whether or not the date of separation, which is the most important decision you're going to make in many cases, whether that's going to be an issue of dispute and whether you're going to prevail on the date you believe you separated versus another date, which let's say your spouse is going to allege because his stock options weren't granted after this date, so they're just going to pick the date which gives them the best financial advantage, even though in law they may not be able to support it. So I evaluate your opportunity or your ability to win that battle. With custody, we talk about, does a spouse have another significant other? What do we do when there's significant others? I have a roadmap of what we do and my approach to that. And I don't rigidly adhere to the 1 hour. I mean, I'm not looking at the clock. If I'm in the middle of doing a support calculation and I need to spend another 15 or 20 minutes, I will always do that. And I don't bill you for that additional time. But having a consultation with someone of my expertise, and I do consider myself an expert, not just in the law, but in the litigation of family law cases, sets you up to evaluate the other lawyers you may decide to hire that are cheaper. I will give you a roadmap for the case. One of the things I've asked people to consider is moving away from the state. I will say, this is your opportunity. This looks like a case where, for a host of reasons, you might want to, is that an option at all you've considered? Because if you want to do that, we have to set that up right now. I mean, there's so many things that I really believe are valuable pieces of information I can share with you, even if you don't hire me. And for example, as I've said, lawyers send their clients here to conflict me out of the case. I can always tell when that is. And I say, you really want to waste $500? Why don't you let me tell you what my approach to this case would be? And I would say that in the last 3 months, I've gotten 5 of the cases transferred to me.